Hi guys, this is Ashok Reddy. Today we will discuss non-static members and their control flow. Okay, what is non-static member? The class level member which doesn't have static keyword in their creation statements are called non-static member. The class level member which doesn't have static keywords are called non-static member. Here, four types of non-static members is there. One is non-static variable. Second one is non-static block. Third one is the non-static method. Fourth one is the constructor. What is the non-static variable? Already I prepared one example. What is the non-static variable here? This one is the non-static variable. If you declare what is the static variable, first of all, tell me guys. What is the static variable? I already explained already I explained three classes. Please go through if you want to understand. Okay. Now, what is the static variable? If you declare variable as a static, if you declare variable as a static, that is static variable. Okay. If you are not declare variable as a in class level variable, if you are not declare that is if you are not declare static keyword, that is non-static variable. Okay. Now, what is static variable? What is non-static variable? The class level variable, the class level variable that doesn't have sorry does not have static keyword. Okay, does not have static keyword is called non-static variable. What is the static variable? Sorry, what is non-static block? What is non-static block? See, this is the non-static block. This one is the non-static block. The class level block which does not have any prototype. What is the prototype? First of all, this is the public void display. This is the prototype. This is the prototype. If the class level block which does not have any prototype, that is non-static block. If prototype have a static, if prototype have only static, that is non-static block. If it doesn't have any prototype, that is non-static block. Okay, then what is non-static block? The class level block, the class level block which which does not have prototype, that is static, non-static block. What is the static method? First of all, what is the static method? If this is the non-static method, if you declare method as a if modifier as a static, if you declare modifier as a static, then that is static method. If you not declare modifier as a static, that is non-static block. Okay, then what is the use of non-static block? What is the use of static block? Already explained. That is, we are methods, we are going to execute only logic. This is the non-static block or static block, non-static method. Only if you are just keeping in your mind, only it is used for executing logic. How it is going to execute, I am going to explain. Okay. Then what is the non-static method? The method which does not have static keyword. The method, the method which does not have static keyword. Static keyword. in its call in its prototype. Okay, the method which does not have static keyword in its prototype. Okay, then what is the constructor? What is the constructor? Tell me, guys, what is the constructor? Constructor, this class name and class name is same here, method name. Class name is same as method name. Here, this is the constructor. This is the constructor. This class name is a example of NSM. NSM here non-static method. Example of NSM and here constructor method name is same. Class name and method name is same. But constructor does not have any return type. Constructor does not have any return type. Constructor does not have any return type. Okay, you guys can keep in your mind. Okay, access now, okay, it will allow. Okay, then what is the constructor? Class name, class name, class name should be class name should be same have method name, but does not have any return type. 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 But what is the use of constructor? What is the use of non-static method? What is the use of non-static method? What is the use of non-static variable? Already I told variable use to only store only one value at a time. But if you static variable, while class loading, it will allocate the memory and also initialize the memory. But non-static variable, while after creating object, okay, after creating the object, it will allocate the memory. Okay, but non-static block, what is the use of non-static block? Variable non-static, it is used to only store the data, store the values. Okay, but non-static block, what is the use of non-static block? Non-static block, it is used for non-static block, and non-static methods are only used for executing the logic. It is used for executing the logic. You guys can note your it is non-static block and non-static method. It is used for executing the logic. Okay, it is only used for executing our logic. But this one also executing logic, this one also executing our logic, correct na? But when it will going to execute non-static block, when it is going to execute non-static method, we will discuss. Okay, then constructor. What is the use of constructor? Tell me, guys, what is the use of constructor? It is used for initializing the object. It is used for initializing the object. What is the constructor? What is the use of constructor? It is used for initializing the object. Very good. Okay. It is used for initializing the object. Then I already prepared one example. Can we execute now? Yeah. These two x and y are the non-static variable. This is the static block. This is the non-static method. This is the constructor, and this is the main method. Okay. First of all, what can we revise now? What is the static method? What is the static variable? Static variable. with the class level variable does not have any keyword, that is called non-static variable. What is the static block? The class level block which does not have any prototype. The class level variable does not have any does not have static prototype, does not have any prototype, does not have any prototype. Okay, then what is the non-static method? The method which does not have static keyword in its prototype. Okay, then what is the use of we'll see constructor. The class name should be same as the method name. Okay, does not have any return type. What is the use of variable? Variable is used to only store the data. And what is the use of static block and static method? It is used for executing the logic. How it is going to execute? What is the difference? Both we'll see next level. Okay, what is the constructor? Constructor used for initializing the object. Okay, whenever going to initializing object, it will replace. Okay, before it will replace default value. We will see that one. Okay, here one example is there. This is the static variable already. Yeah, can we compile now? Control 1. It is going to execute very slow. Please wait some time. Yeah, meanwhile, we will see. I already prepared one diagram. This is the static variable, the static block, non-static method, constructor. This is main method. Okay, it is compiled. Yeah, it is compiled. Can we execute now? Just see. First, it will execute main method. After that, non-static variable executed. After that, non-static variable executed. After that, non-static block executed. After that, it will execute default constructor. What is the default constructor? Okay, then we'll see. We will discuss constructor later, more detail. Now we will discuss only what is what. Okay, how constructor we will discuss today. How object initializing the constructor, how it is initializing the object, that we will discuss. But we will discuss deep dive in tomorrow class. Okay, yeah. See, this is the flow. First, what will happen whenever class is loaded into JVM? First, then control comes to the main method. 1 minute, guys. This one, control Z. Take that. Okay, this one. Yeah. Now, see, whenever class is loaded into JVM, then control comes to the main method. This main method is executed. Okay, inside main method, first statement is executed. Okay, yeah. Then next step is this one, line number. Okay, this one is example of NSM equal new example. I am creating object. This is the way we need to create the object. Already we guys know. Okay, how it is creating the object. Here you guys can remember here 4 types of object creation. Of we have 4 type, and object creation we have 4 type. One is a reference variable declaration. Okay, second one is the class instantiation. What is the third one? Third one is the object initialization. Fourth one is the returning object reference. Okay, this is the 4 step we can create the object. Okay, you guys can keep in your mind this 4 step. I am going to explain this 4 step. Please keep in your mind what I am going to explain. Okay, yeah. once control comes to the main method, it will first step, it will going to execute. Then what is happen? Second, what is the four? I told object creation. We have four steps. First one is the reference variable declaration. What is the reference variable declaration? Reference variable declaration. It is used for creating. It is used for creating variable memory. Variable memory is creating. Okay. Here, first step is variable memory created. Okay. Second one is the variable memory created. Okay. Then third one. What is the third one? Once new, what is the third one in a class instantiation? Second, what is the one? This first step is completed. In what is the first step? A reference variable declaration. In that reference variable declaration, what will happen? Memory is created. Reference variable memory is created. Correct? Na? How it will created? This is the way. Correct? Na? This is the way. Reference variable created like that. Okay, memory created. What is the second way? Class instantiation. Second is the class instantiation. What is the second is class instantiation. What is the use of class instantiation? In this, whenever in a class instantiation, this is the new keyword, correct? Na? In a class instantiation, new keyword is executed. While executing the new keyword, what will happen? It will default memory static. It will check any non-static variable memory. Non-static variable is there or not. If non-static variable is there, it will create the default value of the non-static variable. Okay, what is the default of non-static variable? Here default value is x and y. What that x and y variable default value is 0. X and y default value is 0. Okay. This is the 0 and second one also 0. Okay, default value is 0. Okay, just whenever class instantiation in a class instantiation, new keyword is executed. While what is happen? Once new keyword is executed, what will happen? It will check any non-static variable is there or not. Non-static variable is there or not. If non-static variable is there, it will create the default value of non-static. Create the default value of non-static variable. Okay. What is the default value of non-static variable? Here x comma y is the 0. Okay. Then third one. What is the third step? Object initialization. What is who will create the object initialization? Constructor. What is the constructor? What is the use of constructor? Object initialization. Then itself. This is the constructor, correct? Na? Once it is example of NSM is the constructor, correct? Na? This is the fourth one. Okay. Then here while constructor is executed, here super keyword is there. What is the constructor? This is example of NSM is the constructor. Okay. Here super keyword is there. Okay. Here super keyword is there. What is the use of super keyword? What is the use of super keyword, guys? Super keyword, it is used to, it will call the superclass of constructor. What is the use? What is the superclass here? In the example of NFSM is the subclass. Superclass is the Java dot long dot. By default, by default it will extend. What is the superclass? Java dot lang dot object. Already I explained this object class. Okay, already explained object. Okay, please go through that video. You guys can understand clearly. Every all classes of superclasses, it is the object. Object is the superclass. This is the root class. Okay, this by default it is available superclass. Object is the superclass. Okay, then Then see, whenever constructor is executing this, whenever constructor is executing, then it will come to the constructor. In this first level, first statement, super keyword is there by default. Super keyword is there. It will super keyword. It will call to the super keyword. It will call to the super keyword. It will call to the super class of constructor. Super class of constructor. In this super class constructor, one minute guys, superclass constructor, there is no logic. Superclass constructor, there is no logic. Correct na? So it will return to the current class. Okay, it will return to the current class. Okay, once return the current class, it will check non-static variable is there or not. Non-static variable is there. Non-static variable, it will declare the actual value. Okay, it will initialize the non-static variable. What is the non-static variable? Initialize 10 comma 20. Just see, already default value 0 comma 0. Instead of 0 comma 0, it will replace 10 comma 20. Okay, 20. Just see, you guys can replace here 0. Okay, this is the fifth one. This, while executing the constructor, it will call to the constructor. This is the 5.1. Okay, while executing the constructor, what is the first statement? Super keyword is available. What is the use of super keyword? It will call to the super class of constructor. What is the super class? Super class is a object. In the super class object, constructor is there, correct? The super class constructor doesn't have any logic, so it will return, doesn't have any keyword, doesn't have any logic, so it will return to the current class. What is the in this class? It will check any what is happen? Non-static variable, initializing the non-static variable. Once initialize the non-static variable, it is going to execute a non-static block. Once executed non-static block logic, while initializing the object, that time it is going to execute a non-static variable and non-static block. You guys can keep in your mind non-static variable and non-static while initializing the object. Okay, then it will comes to the control comes to the control comes to the constructor. It will execute the constructor logic. Once executing the constructor logic 5.4, then it will return to the okay, it will return to the constructor. Okay, once executing constructor is executed, mean initialization object is completed. Once constructor execution and once constructor logic executed, mean object initialization is completed. Okay, can we revise now again? Yeah, while executing the constructor, it will call to the constructor. In this constructor, first statement super keyword is there. First statement super keyword is there. It will call to the superclass constructor. There is no logic in superclass constructor. It will return to the our current class. What is the current class? Example of NSM. NSM is non-static method. It will check any non-static variable is there or not. It will non-static variable is there. It will going to initialize the non-static variable. Okay. Then already before while creating the object, that time it will default value is created, right? While initializing the object, it will initialize the non-static variable 10 comma 20 x and y 10 20. Then once non-static variable executed, then it will check any static block is there. It will execute non-static block. It will once executing non-static block, it control comes to the non-static constructor. Okay, control comes to the constructor. Once constructor logic execution is completed, mean object initialization, constructor object initialization is completed. Okay, then what is the fourth one? Returning object reference. What is the returning object reference? What is returning object reference? Yeah, we'll see. Here, after constructor execution completed, after object initialization, new keyword after constructor execution mean object initialization is completed. After that, new keyword, it will return to the new keyword. New keyword, it will return to the new object reference. This just guys, this object reference is a 10 comma 10. For example, any comma 20 comma 20. Okay, this object reference is returned to the object reference is new keyword. It will return to the new object reference. What is the object reference? 20 comma 20. It will stored in. It will where it will store. It will stored in object reference variable. What is the object reference variable? NSM is the object reference variable. What is the object reference variable? 20 comma 20. Okay. It will store like that. Then it will pointing to the this non-static variable. What is that? This non-static variable is pointing to the object. This non-static variable is pointing to the object. Okay, like that. Non-static variable is pointing to the this object. Okay, then can we revise now? Yeah. What is the non-static variable? There are here 4 types of non-static variable is there. Here 4 types of non-static variable. One is non-static. Here 4 types of non-static. One is non-static variable. One is the non-static block. Third one is the non-static method. Fourth one is the construct. What is the non-static variable? The class level variable does not have static keyword is called non-static variable. If non-static, the class level block which doesn't have any prototype, that is called non-static block. What is the example? This is the example. This is the non-static block. What is the non-static method? The method prototype doesn't have modifier doesn't have static. Modifier doesn't have static. That is static method. If it modifier has static, that is static method is there. Okay. What is the constructor? Constructor is and class name and constructor name is same. Class name and constructor is same. What is the class name? Example of NSM. This class name and constructor name is same. Okay. Return type doesn't have any return type. Okay. Doesn't have any return type. So this is the constructor. What is the use of constructor? It is used for initializing the object. What is the use of constructor? Used for initializing the object. What is the use of static block and static method? This static block and static methods are used for executing our logic. What is the use of variable? It is used for store the value. It is used for store the value. But here, when it will going to execute a non-static variable and non-static block? When it will going to execute non-static variable and non-static block? While creating the object. When it will create the object? Whenever executing the new keyword. Whenever going to execute the new keyword, that is whenever executing a new keyword, that time it will execute the non-static variable and non-static block. Okay. When it will execute the non-static method, once these 4 steps is completed. Once these 4 steps is completed, what are the 4 steps while creating the object? In a object creation, we have 4 steps. One is the reference variable creation. One is the class instantiation. Third one is the object initialization. Fourth one is the returning object reference. What is the when a reference variable declaration? In that we have to declare the what will happen here. Only we can variable memory created. Okay. What then? Second one is the class instantiation. What will happen? Class instantiation. In class instantiation, new keyword is executed. What will happen? Class instruction, new keyword is executed. In this new keyword is executed, while executing the new keyword, object is created. Correct? While creating the object, it will create the default value of x comma y. Default value of x comma y. Okay. Then third one is the object instantiation. Already, please some small correction that time. While creating the object, non-static variable is executed. While creating the object, non-static variable is executed. But while object initialization, while object initialization constructor is executed, in the non-static variable initialization and non-static block execution is completed. Once non-static variable and non-static variable initialization and non-static block execution is completed, then control comes to the constructor. Control comes to the constructor. It will execute the constructor logic. Once executed constructor logic, what will happen? Object initialization is completed. Okay. Fourth one is the returning object reference. Returning object reference. What will happen? Returning object reference. It will new keyword. It will return to the object reference. What is the object reference here? Here, what I am told, 20, 20. This 20, 20 reference object reference, it will stored in where it will store in example of NSM. What is the reference variable? NSM. It is 20, 20. Okay. Then it will pointing to this reference variable is pointing to our object. Correct? Na? This object is pointing to the reference variable is pointing to this object. Okay. Then once this object initialization and object initialization is completed and object reference is returned to the and stored in reference variable, then whenever we are calling, how it will going to execute a non-static method? Whenever we are calling, then non-static method is execution is completed. I think you guys can clear, right? Yeah. Please subscribe my videos and also share. Please. Thank you guys.